No, honestly, it's fine. That's what you said. What was true was that you'd been looking forward to it for 3 weeks, and you'd already told your sister, and when he canceled at 6:40, something in your chest actually dropped. I'm not fussed either way, whatever you prefer. That's what you said. What was true was that you had a very clear preference, and you'd had it for about 4 days. Sorry, ignore me. I'm being silly. That's what you said. What was true was that you'd noticed something real, and you brought it up carefully, and he went quiet for 11 seconds, and you took it back before he could decide anything about you. 3 sentences. You'll say some version of them again this week, probably without noticing, and each time a small true thing about you will go into a drawer and not come out. I'm not going to tell you to speak your truth. You know you should. That's not the missing piece. What's missing is an actual explanation of why the words stop in your throat and why the deleting feels like safety rather than loss. Because until you understand what the silence is protecting you from, no amount of encouragement is going to get it out of you. So let's start with the character. You built her at some point. Low maintenance. Easygoing. Not one of those women who needs constant reassurance. She's cool about plans changing, cool about the vagueness, cool about the friend of his that everyone knows is a bit much. She laughs it off. She's never the difficult one. And she works. That's the thing. She gets chosen. Men relax around her. But she is a full-time position, and you're the only one on the shift. Every single interaction has an editing process running underneath it. Is that too much? Is that too fast? Does that make me sound like I'm keeping score? Should I add, haha, so it lands lighter? You do this constantly, at speed, and it's so automatic now that you'd struggle to say when you're doing it. That's why you're so tired. Not from the relationship, from the production of a person who is easier to love than you are. And there's a specific loneliness in being liked as her. Because when he says he's happy, or that things are easy with you, you don't feel warm. You feel a flicker of something colder. Yes, because I've removed everything about me that would complicate it. You're being appreciated for an absence. Now, where does this come from? And I want to be careful here, because this next idea is the whole foundation, and it deserves saying properly. Gabor Mate describes a trade that every child makes: authenticity or attachment. A child has 2 absolute needs. She needs to be herself, to feel what she feels, want what she wants, express it, and have it exist in the world. And she needs to stay connected to the people who keep her alive. Those needs are both non-negotiable, and in a good enough environment they never conflict. But when they do conflict, when being fully herself makes the adults withdraw or go cold or get overwhelmed or angry, the child does not hesitate. Not for a second. Attachment wins every time because authenticity is a preference and attachment is oxygen. So she puts parts of herself away, not consciously. It's not a decision, it's an adaptation. The parts that made the room go tense get filed somewhere out of reach, and she becomes a version of herself that keeps the connection intact. And here's what I need you to understand about that. It worked. It genuinely worked. It was the correct move. That child kept her bond and got through, and she got through because of the silencing. The problem is that nothing ever came along to tell her the emergency was over. So now you're 34, in a relationship with a man who is not your father, and the same instinct fires, say the true thing and lose the person, with the same absolute authority it had when you were 6, and it was completely accurate. Then there's the training that happened more recently, and this part isn't historical at all. Think about what happens now when you raise something. Not a fight, just a real thing, said honestly. I felt a bit shut out on Saturday. He gets quiet. His face closes slightly. The temperature in the room drops maybe 4 degrees. He doesn't shout. That would almost be easier. He just becomes less present. Answers get shorter. He goes for a shower or picks up his phone, and the evening you were going to have doesn't happen. Nothing is announced. Nothing is stated. But an outcome has occurred, and you feel it in your body as a loss. Do that 5 or 6 times, and you don't need to be told anything. You've learned it. Truth costs distance. And you'll start preemptively softening, shrinking, and eventually not raising it at all. Not because you're weak, but because you've run the experiment repeatedly and the results were consistent. That's what makes this so hard to see from the inside. It's not that you're bad at communicating. It's that you're excellent at learning, and the environment taught you that your voice makes people leave. Now here's the cost, and this is where I want you to pay close attention, because I don't think anyone's ever drawn this line for you. In 1991, a psychologist called Dana Crowley-Jack published research on why depression rates in women were so consistently high in relationships. And what she found, the thing that made her work matter, is that the strongest thread wasn't conflict. It wasn't unhappiness with the partner, exactly. It was self-silencing. Women who systematically suppressed their own thoughts, needs, and anger in order to maintain a relationship were significantly more likely to be depressed. Not sad about the relationship, depressed, flat, exhausted, disinterested, numb. Sit with that because it reorganizes something. That heaviness you've been carrying, the tiredness that sleep doesn't fix, the way things you used to enjoy have gone gray, the sense of being slightly behind glass. You've probably been treating it as a separate problem, something about work, or hormones, or your 30s. It might not be separate at all. It might be the bill, because suppression isn't free and it isn't selective. You can't put a lid on anger and irritation and disappointment and leave joy and desire and enthusiasm running underneath it. It's one lid. Push down the difficult feelings for long enough and everything gets muted, including the good ones. That's what the flatness is. It's not that nothing's happening in you. It's that you've become extremely skilled at not letting anything through. And the anger in particular doesn't go anywhere. That's a fantasy. It changes shape. It comes out as a comment with a slight edge, delivered lightly, that you'll replay later and cringe at. It comes out as crying in the car, outside the supermarket, over something small enough to be embarrassing. It comes out in your jaw and your shoulders and the way you can't quite get a full breath sometimes. It comes out as a coolness you don't decide on, where you're perfectly pleasant to him and somehow not really there. You might have concluded from all this that you're oversensitive. Actually, the reverse is happening. You're carrying a full reservoir of legitimate reactions that were never allowed to be expressed at normal volume. So they leak out sideways at odd moments, and every leak makes you trust yourself a little less. And then the erosion, which is the quietest damage of all. Somebody asks what you want to do this weekend, or where you'd like to eat, or what you thought of the film, and there's nothing there, a blank. You reach for a preference and find yourself waiting to hear his first so you know how to feel. That's what happens after years of calibrating to another person. Your own signal gets faint from disuse. It's not that you're indecisive, it's that you outsourced the reading of your own internal state to someone else so long ago that you now genuinely need him in the room to know how you are. I think that's the frightening part of self-silencing that nobody warns you about. It doesn't stop at not saying things. It works backwards until you stop knowing things. So, what do you do with all of this? The first thing, and it's less obvious than it sounds, is to stop trying to feel brave before you speak. You're waiting for confidence to arrive so that saying the thing will be comfortable. It won't. The fear is not a sign that you're unready. It's an old alarm doing its job. You say it while afraid, or you don't say it. Second, say the true thing plainly and resist the urge to build it a fortress. Watch what you do to your own sentences. The sorry, the this is probably stupid, the you don't have to, the I know you're busy. Every one of those is an escape hatch you're installing so he can decline to engage without either of you noticing. Try it once without them. I felt shut out on Saturday. Full stop. Nothing after it. The silence that follows will feel enormous. Let it be enormous. Third, and this is the one that actually decides whether anything changes, you have to survive the aftermath without repairing it for him. Here's what will happen. You'll say it, and he'll be uncomfortable. He might go quiet. The next day may be a bit thin. And somewhere in the following 48 hours, you will feel an urge so strong it barely feels like a choice. To go to him and soften it. To say you overthought it. To be extra warm, extra easy, to make a joke, to cook something, to take it back without literally taking it back. That's the moment, not the saying. The moment is whether you can tolerate his discomfort without rushing in to dissolve it. Because if you retract, you've taught the system one more time that your truth is a temporary disturbance that you'll clean up yourself. And if you can hold it, awkward, sick with it, hands itching, something genuinely new happens. Your voice stays in the room and doesn't get withdrawn. Two things can follow. He might come back. Clumsily, a day late, a bit defensive at first, but he comes back and something in the relationship widens. That's what a partnership doing its job looks like, and you may have never had it, and it will feel almost unbearably strange the first time. Or he doesn't, and the distance holds, and you learn something very hard and very clear. Which brings me to the thing I actually wanted to say underneath all of it. You've been treating your honesty as a threat to the relationship, something that could break it, so you've kept it out carefully for years in order to preserve something. But look at what's being preserved, a version of you that's edited down to fit, a connection that only survives while you're absent from it. You're not protecting a relationship. You're maintaining a vacancy where you should be. And here's the reframe I'd want handed to me, if I were where you are. Your truth isn't a risk to the right relationship. It's the instrument that tells you which one you're in. If saying a real thing, kindly, ends it, then it was already ending. It was just going to take another 4 years and take most of you with it. The relationship you're actually looking for isn't the one that never gets difficult. It's the one where you can say the true version, badly, at the wrong time, in the wrong tone. And it holds. Where being fully yourself is not a threat to the connection, but the actual substance of it. You can't find out whether he can hold you while you're still hiding. So say one true, small thing this week. Not the biggest one. Just something you'd normally soften, said straight. Then don't fix it. Just see what's there when the silence ends.